There is a good portion of me that often wants to either look or smell like the snack that I am. Hello! I'm very excited about this week's project. If you have visited my channel page, you have possibly seen that the second word in my description, at least at the moment, is crocheter. And yet we are several videos into this YouTube journey and I have not yet crocheted something for you. So that is what we will be doing today. For this project, I will be crocheting a headscarf, bandana, but the twist is it's going to be a waffle. Not just any waffle. I would like to create little fruits and toppings and such to put on top of it, but we'll get into that a little bit later. There is a good portion of me that often wants to either look or smell like the snack that I am. It's been a minute since I have crocheted something to completion because I tend to take on large projects and then never finish them. That is what is so great about this, is ideally it will be nice and simple and also delicious. So we are going to go right ahead and get into materials. We have the beige that will be used for the waffle base, this lovely red that I will attempt to turn into raspberries, this blue that I would like to turn into blueberries, this white that I will be making into banana slices. I also used a brown yarn, but I just pulled from my stash because I already had brown yarn.
A picture that you could never see in any other way.
Firstly, I began by learning how to crochet what they call the waffle stitch. This took me quite a number of tries, not just to get right, but to also get the number of stitches right. After a lot of trial and error, figured out exactly where my stitches needed to go, while still being able to drop stitches on either side to create a nice triangular shape. I think this came out fairly decent. So with that, let's move on to the toppings. The trial and error on these was certainly more minimal than it had been on the waffle. While I was working on the banana slices, someone decided it was snack time. Next is attaching all the toppings to the waffle. I thought I came up with an ingenious idea for this because I had made so many different toppings and wasn't exactly sure which ones to have placed where when I'm wearing it. I thought it would be an amazing idea to attach the toppings with button snaps. My mistake with this was not realizing how long it takes to sew on 10 billion button snaps. So let's get into that. Because this next part was going to take a long time, I poured myself some coffee. Ooh, aesthetic. Settled in on the couch and proceeded to sew on button after button after button after button and so on. Although I didn't record it, I used the brown yarn I mentioned before to crochet a long and curving drizzle. This was meant to initially be syrup, but as it's a bit darker than syrup typically is, we're just gonna call it chocolate drizzle. I tried my best to sew the buttons so that they were on the back of the waffle stitches, and that way they could be rotated to the front, allowing the unused buttons to hide under the stitch. Once the great buttoning of 2025 came to an end, it was time for the reveal. This far exceeded my expectations in almost every way. Oh my gosh, I could die, it's so cute. I'm so thrilled with how this came out. I think it's so adorable. I'm so pleased with it. I just feel like a tiny little snack. I love that so much. Let me take it off and show you a few things about it. There are very few things about this that I don't like. Almost everything about it is my absolute favorite. I think this is my favorite layout. Bananas, the raspberries, and then just the chocolate on the waffle itself. I like that there are still some spots where the waffle pattern peeks through. I kind of don't want to peel off all the chocolate syrup at the moment. That's the most complicated topping, is that one actually has to snap in specific spots. I've sewn it together in a few spots. Pretty much anywhere where the syrup touches itself is sewn together, and then everywhere else that it's connected, it's snapped down. There are a few spots like this where it kind of wants to curl up. Had I put my buttons a little bit more carefully, that wouldn't be an issue, but I already had 2 up in this area and I felt like 3 was a bit excessive. I'm not too worried about it. If it does end up being a problem, I'll just add another button. I love how all of the toppings can just snap right off. For me personally, I find the blueberry to be such a bright contrast against the raspberries that it's rare that I will have both of those two on at the same time. Mixing and matching obviously is gonna be very handy, although slightly tedious. It will really just depend how I'm feeling, but I just think it's so stinking adorable. I love it so much. I think between the three of them, my favorite is probably the banana slice. I don't know what it is about it. It just looks so edible. It's not. Don't eat these. If you ever make a version of this, 1, tag me in it. 2, possibly could be a choking hazard for small pets or children, so just keep an eye on that, where you keep them or put them. Honestly, learning the waffle stitch, although it took a few tries to get the stitch count correct, was fairly simple once I got it down. So I just looked up how to do it on Pinterest and YouTube and followed a few videos. It was really easy to pick up. So if you know the basics of crochet, I think the only stitches it really required was pretty much just a double crochet and like chain stitches. I think that was pretty much it. Kind of depends on how you turn your rows around and things like that. Again, with me taking it in on the side, I kind of just had to make that part up with some trial and error. Overall, I'm really happy with how this came out. I can't wait to wear it and actually like wear it in public and probably be stared at, but it's fine. If this is your first video, thank you so much for tagging along. Feel free to subscribe to see more of my shenanigans. If you liked the video, like the video. I love you all so much and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.